just want to say thank God for being in this position first and foremost, and for giving us this great group. And I normally don't say a lot, but I'm super proud, of my staff. I really felt like they were amazing in this quick one-day prep. I felt like they got the kids prepared and ready. We had a bunch of kids that were really hungry for information, and obviously they were well connected because they had the answers to the test. And you got to give a lot of credit to my assistants who were, they were awesome. They were amazing. So that's what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thanks. Question for student athletes. Yeah, back left.
Andrew Bowlby at WAB Friday. You guys just, what was so different about this game from the one that was a couple days ago when you guys lost by 15?
Yeah, I think that loss almost helped us be more prepared for this one. We had a really good film session, I think, where we were really talking. We had players asking questions, coaches really on point about how to execute. And I think going into it, we were just all really just together and knew what we needed to do. And I think we went out there and did exactly that.
Zach, you're in St. Walk Sports, Clara, you shot lights out today. What is that testament to the team and yourself and what this team can do?
Well, I wanted to win so bad, so it was a great team effort for me, of course, to be open and shoot them. And I feel like everyone contributed, and it was a nice game.
Back middle.
Brian Miller, the Report Ohio for both of y'all. What was it like facing Kent State and Ohio 2 seasons into the regular season, like the first two opponents in the conference tournament? Do you think that's a big advantage this time of year?
Yeah, I mean, I think it really helped us know the other team really well. I mean, both of us knew each other well, and I think it was easier to scout in that sense because it was fresh from our minds. We knew it, and we knew exactly what they want to do. I think it made us easier to execute our game plan as well.
Back middle.
The importance of second chance points early, I think you had offensive rebounds in the very first two possessions game where just like setting the tone to get those other shots.
Yeah, I mean, I think going into it, we knew that we can rebound heavily, especially because they play a lot of zone. So just having that attitude going into it, trying to get those extra rebounds, turns into extra points and turns into even getting defensive stops because they stop them in transition and stuff. So I think just playing with that effort and attitude to that we have goals here and we want to execute and win these games. So I think going into the game, we really took care of that.
Tyler Cavalish, Falcon Media Sports Summary. Question for both of you guys. Talked about the zone that they sit in. Felt like you guys created a lot of open opportunities in the quarters, kickoffs for three-pointers. How well do you think you executed that part of the game plan?
We practiced a lot of zone after the loss to Ohio, so we knew what we were up to, and once we got the ball flowing, we could get open shots.
Yeah, I mean, I think we did really good working inside-out game. I think we kind of struggled with that in previous games. So, like she said, we practiced a lot within that, and I think we executed that really well.
Earlier on in the third quarter, Amber, you achieved a double what you did all season. What is that kind of what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it gets us extra opportunities to score, and it even helps us like set our defense whenever we get scores as well. And I think just setting the tone helps our teams and get energy off the bench and everything. So it's good.
Back middle.
Not open shots today, but people that usually some good shot really well, even though that was so what is it in your game? Think more opportunities, more confidence? Just kind of like, what have you been doing over the last couple weeks?
I honestly been doing the same. It's just the dread of winning this tournament. It just keeps me going, It's my last year, so I want to win it.
Left over here.
Love it.
Brian, as a piggyback on, you talked a little bit about how the game against Ohio might help you. Did it also kind of help you where you guys didn't fall into any kind of complacency, knowing that what just happened 7 days ago?
Yeah, I mean, going into that, so Wednesday we got our share of the MAC regular season title. So I think that almost woke us up with that loss against OU, and I think it helped our team lock in and really show that it's going to be tough to win any game coming forward, going into this tournament. So I think it kind of woke us up and really set the tone for how we need to be prepared this week.
Right middle.
Cooper Manigan, United student. When you guys start to see your teammates' shots, stuff like that, is that something that helps build confidence in your own game?
Okay.
Yeah, 100%. When somebody shoots it, you're like motivated to keep shooting it, and we are hype when someone makes it. So it's all about confidence.
Back right.
Johnson showed me what his last season. You're doing a little bit close there. You guys don't have a level coach. You know, you don't you're down 7. You stretch the lead up to 21 days. What's the reason why you got that stretch?
I mean, we go into every game knowing it's a 40-minute game. I think we, no matter what the score is at any point, we just keep our game, keep our momentum. Don't really be concerned about the score. Just make other teams play with us for 40 minutes. And I think we really did well at that.
Front left.
Yeah, talked about, the 3-point success you guys had, but I don't have the number in front of me. I think it was 14 or 15% from beyond the arc that you held Ohio to. What did you guys do so well defensively, and were you kind of surprised that they kept going to the 3-point shot and trying to make that work?
Well, we, in my opinion, I think we contained the shooters pretty well, and we studied how they play, so we were there on the catch.
Second half, one or two more.
Clara.
Front left.
Yeah, just how much momentum does this give you guys going into the championship game and confidence coming off a performance like this, no matter who you guys are going to face?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have that was really good energy for us. Just seeing the ball go through the bucket in this arena, too, is really nice for this next game. And I think just going forward, we're going to know that this is the attitude that we need to win this thing and just keep the momentum going and get another win.
I have real coaches on my staff, and I'm very prideful of that. I don't have people over there just that don't have a significant role. They all star in their roles, and, they are highly intelligent people. And I felt like they really positioned our kids, this game to where our kids felt very confident, therefore, they were out there and they were able to be them, which is physical and fast and fly around. You can do that when you're comfortable and confident. And the first game, I mean, we just lost. I don't want to get too much into it, but we lost, and I don't think that there was a level of confidence. Coming into this game, I felt like we were going to guard them. It was more so on the other side of the ball, and obviously our kids they fell in a level of comfort, in preparation, and because obviously they executed really well. They knew exactly what to look for. It was like those shots they were scripted. They were ready. They were in rhythm. And that's what you want. I'm very, very prideful of the fact that our guards did a good job as far as, we had 19 turnovers, but that team plays so unorthodox. They take almost reckless, silly chances, and they're a different type of prep. And our kids, for the most part, we had a couple stretches where we struggled, but for the most part, they did enough, to definitely get us to the win.
Coach, last week, Ohio scored pretty easily this week, and they didn't really do that. What was the biggest defensive change for you guys that allowed you to stay up?
I just think that we devoted more time to it. A couple things, so we won the first of all, we only practiced 4 hours a week, and probably half of that for us are walkthroughs. I'm really high on energy, and I reward them with their effort with lack of practice time. And so you combine that, knowing that we celebrated on Wednesday and we were probably not in a great place on Thursday, for prep, and we probably were really feeling really good about ourselves on Friday, and and some other things, and it set us up for a tough ball game, because all these game winning's really hard. Like, it's hard, and all these teams have good players. They're out there. All these kids have good players, And all it takes is for you to not be ready, and for somebody to get you. And it was a rivalry game, more so for them, because for us, we've accomplished a lot thus far. But they had, the thing that they had right on it was a rivalry game, and they were excited, and and we I don't think we were really truly ready. This game, I felt like we were really truly ready.
Is that correct?
Specifically, you said shooting the ball, and were you there certain spots on the floor that you thought you could deal with playing against these zones, like the corners and the inside?
Well, what Clara, first of all, Clara has scored before, so it's in her. But really, she didn't say it, but she could credit my AD because he saw something in her shot, and I relayed it to her, and she started working on it, and she's been much better since. And so, she's very confident. The big thing about coaching Clara is like, you don't want to mess her up because she's different than the rest of the kids. She's a one-on-one player. Her game is so different from the other kids. And so a large part of this year has been because we play a really team-oriented game on both sides of the ball, and she's not really used to that. And, it's been hard for our kids to learn how to play with her. And now I think there's been a mutual come together between our team and her, to come to a good place to where, she feels like, this is how I can incorporate my game with, how we're doing. And our kids, they see things in her. And so it's been a beautiful thing to watch her evolve here because she's a much better player than where she was before. And, and I told her she would be. And I'm glad that it came to, fruition.
Coach, little halfway to go in the third quarter, all Fox started coming down comfortably. On top of that, pressure later, Harris checks in, I think they got through and a little bit excited. What does that mean to the team and helping the young players?
Well, first of all, I'm scared to death all the way till the second 2 minutes to go, because that's a dangerous team. I've seen them be down, I think, 18 and come back and be up 22 in like 5 minutes against Eastern Michigan. So my sense of urgency is really high, and me trying to share that with the kids, I think it was really, really important. As far as Anna, the thing that I talk about on our team all the time is that everyone has value, and I try to remind them of that all the time. You might play 2 minutes one game, you might play 22 the next. It's just the way that I coach, and it's up to you to figure it out, and I try to help you figure it out. A kid like Anna has been the perfect walk-on, and she's come here. She's, just so you know, like, she doesn't get any practice time with the team. Every blue moon when we don't have enough practice guys, she'll be on the scout team, but she gets lots of mental reps. And at the end of the day, I don't want any excuses. Your job is to do your job. And if you're out there for 20 seconds and you're supposed to defend, you better defend. And she works hard, and, our kids, they recognize her value. So when you see them celebrating, it's genuine because they know what she goes through every day. And I know that role is very difficult, and she shows up every day. But I just, she's been a wonderful, kid to be around. I think she's great, for our atmosphere, and I think she's fantastic for Emily Van Timmeren, and I just don't have enough good things to say about Anna.
Probably time to go more.
Yep.
16 three-pointers made, tied for the second most in the game in program history. You had the most in a game against Ohio earlier in the season, so 3 of the top 4 most three-pointers made coming against your rivals. How big does that do it against that team? How big is it to do it on a stage like this?
It's big because today we needed to have it. We just simply took what they gave us. We didn't come out of character for those shots. This team can really shoot the basketball. There's a lot of chance from game to game. All you can do is put yourself in the best position possible to do what you do and let your work speak for itself. And today happened, and those opportunities presented themselves, and our kids were ready to take advantage.
Coach, you guys kind of put the hammer down a spot in the first half where you're hitting threes,
Yeah.
they come out and guard you, you go to the inside, score there, they start packing the paint, you go out and hit threes again. What's it like for you and your staff just knowing that you're kind of pushing all the right buttons when you stretch the lead out to 20 and just see your kids go out and execute that?
Feels good. Feels good. We want to. This is a beautiful game when it's played right, and when you have everyone working in synchronization, and you definitely felt that today. And this, of all games, is a very difficult game to have that feeling, with how they play. And I just have to say, it's not every day you're hitting on all cylinders, and we had some turnovers, but we did some really good things today on both sides of the ball.
Last too far right over there,
Mm-hmm.
first.
You're the number one seed entering the championship game tomorrow. One step away from advancing. How do you help within kind of that pressure if you do it compared to
Well,
teach the kids?
well, for us, it's about 3 one-game winning streaks. We keep talking about that. I think I'm a very intense individual, and so it's important for me to remain consistent with the team. And when we walk out of that locker room, they have to feel my sense of urgency. And we talk about that U word all the time. That's probably the most popular word we use around here. And so we don't want to take anything for granted. We want it's quick turnaround. But now it's time to go. Ball State, Toledo, they're both really good teams. They're well coached. We know that it's going to take, a big effort. But I strongly feel like, when we play our best basketball, we're the best team. I feel very confident in my group, in our group. And I know that they're going to be prepared and ready to go. We'll make some adjustments from last game. And, we're going to bring it, man.
Last question right here.
Coach, third time in 4 days, you guys are gonna play at 10 to 11 a.m.
Mhm.
Is it really for the players to kind of get into a rhythm and kind of into a routine now? When you play that same early game all week? Or not advantage, but do you think
I think, I don't think that's an advantage. I think what's an advantage for us is that we're not playing night roll games. We haven't figured that out yet. So we're I think 3-3 this year in those night roll games. And I don't think we played well in any of those games. So will you give us the morning we may start playing in the morning. I'd rather do that than be in the hotel and sitting around all day and all that kind of stuff, because I don't know, I'm doing something wrong, because we haven't figured that out my time here, and we're good. We're plenty good with playing as early as possible. So let's just do it.